Child abuse is a topic that demands our attention and understanding, especially for mental health professionals. This episode is a companion to the Child Abuse Assessment course offered by Therapy Trainings. We'll touch on key points from the course, including the various forms of abuse, its prevalence, and how to effectively identify and support victims. These insights aim to enhance your approach in addressing this critical issue in your practice. Now, let's get started by understanding what we mean by child abuse. This term encompasses various forms, including physical, sexual, emotional abuse, and neglect. Each type has its own signs and symptoms, and recognizing these can be a vital first step in intervention. For example, physical abuse might manifest as unexplained bruises or injuries, while emotional abuse may show through withdrawn behavior or extreme anxiety in children. As mental health professionals, it's our responsibility to be vigilant and knowledgeable about these indicators. In the course, we delve into how to recognize these signs effectively and sensitively. This understanding allows us to act in the best interests of the child while ensuring that we maintain a safe and supportive environment for them. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about risk factors. The course highlights individual, familial, and environmental risk factors that contribute to child maltreatment. Individual risk factors could include a history of mental illness or substance abuse in caregivers. Familial risks might involve domestic violence or a lack of stable relationships within the household. Environmental factors could range from socioeconomic challenges to community violence. But here's the silver lining. Amidst these risk factors, there are also protective factors that can help mitigate the impact of abuse. Supportive families, community resources, and strong social networks play a significant role in safeguarding children. As professionals, recognizing these protective factors can help us formulate a holistic approach to our work with affected children and their families. Next, let's talk about assessment techniques. The course provides effective assessment methods, interview protocols, and evidence-gathering strategies to sensitively and accurately assess potential child abuse cases. How do we ensure that we're gathering the right information without further traumatizing the child? It's all about creating a safe space. Use open-ended questions and allow the child to express themselves in their own words. This can be a delicate balancing act, as we want to gather necessary information while being mindful of the child's emotional state. For instance, instead of asking, "Did someone hurt you?" which could be leading, consider a more open-ended approach like, "Can you tell me about your day?" This invites the child to share as much or as little as they feel comfortable. We also need to be aware of our legal responsibilities when it comes to child abuse. The course covers mandatory reporting laws and confidentiality limitations that counselors must navigate. It's crucial to understand these legal frameworks so that we can ethically and effectively advocate for the children we work with. In many states, mental health professionals are mandated reporters. This means that if we suspect child abuse or neglect, we are legally required to report it. This can be a heavy burden, especially when we consider the impact this can have on the child and their family. However, it's crucial to remember that reporting is often a necessary step towards ensuring the safety and well-being of the child. Now, let's discuss communication skills. Engaging with child clients, their families, and other professionals involved in child protection is no small feat. Building trust is essential, and it begins with effective communication. Children may have difficulty articulating their feelings or experiences, especially in a therapeutic setting. So how can we bridge that gap? One approach is to use play therapy techniques. This method allows children to express themselves through play, which can be a natural and less intimidating way for them to communicate their feelings. Moreover, involving the family in the therapeutic process can enhance understanding and support. When families feel included and informed, they are more likely to engage with the therapeutic process positively. But what about the effects of child abuse? The course examines the physical, emotional, and psychological effects of child abuse on victims. It's heart-wrenching to think about the long-term impacts that abuse can have on a child's development and mental health. Trauma can manifest in various ways, such as anxiety, depression, behavioral issues, or even difficulties in forming healthy relationships later in life. Understanding these complexities is vital for us as professionals. For example, a child may display aggression as a defense mechanism or may become withdrawn and anxious. By recognizing these patterns, we can tailor our interventions to meet the specific needs of the child. In addition, the course introduces evidence-based interventions and therapeutic modalities for working with child abuse survivors and their families. This might include trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, which can help children process their experiences and develop coping strategies. As we navigate this sensitive terrain, it's also essential to consider cultural factors influencing child-rearing practices and responses to child abuse. Different cultures have diverse beliefs and practices surrounding parenting and discipline, which can affect how abuse is recognized and addressed. For instance, a behavior that may be deemed abusive in one culture could be seen as a traditional form of discipline in another. As professionals, we must approach these situations with cultural sensitivity and an open mind. Learning about the cultural context can enhance our effectiveness in cross-cultural counseling and help us avoid misunderstandings that could harm the therapeutic relationship. Now, let's address some common misconceptions surrounding child abuse. One prevalent misconception is that child abuse only occurs in low-income families or certain neighborhoods. The reality is that child abuse can happen in any community, regardless of socioeconomic status. It's a widespread issue that transcends demographics. Another misconception is the belief that children will always disclose abuse when asked. The truth is that many children may feel afraid, confused, or ashamed, and might not disclose their experiences even if they are being directly asked. This highlights the importance of creating a safe, trusting environment for children to share their stories at their own pace. As we draw this discussion to a close, I want to leave you with some thought-provoking insights. Child abuse is a complex issue that requires a multifaceted approach. It's not just about identifying abuse. It's also about understanding the broader context in which it occurs. As mental health professionals, we have the unique opportunity to advocate for children and families, to provide support, and to promote healing. I encourage you to take what you've learned today and consider how you can apply it in your practice. Whether it's enhancing your assessment techniques, improving your communication skills, or simply being more aware of the cultural contexts in which you work, every step counts. If you're interested in diving deeper into this topic, I highly recommend checking out the course on child abuse assessment offered by Therapy Trainings. There, you'll find a wealth of information that can empower you to make a real difference in the lives of children and families affected by abuse. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this episode informative and engaging. Remember, we all have a role to play in protecting children and promoting their well-being. Let's continue this important conversation and work together to create safer environments for all children. Visit therapytrainings.com for more courses and resources to enhance your practice. Until next time, take care and keep advocating for those who need it most.